We're going to go about creating a stem master for this track, but we're going to start off slightly unconventionally, and we're not actually going to work with the mastering tools yet, but I want to talk about the advantage of creating a master this way, and actually the advantage of creating very, very small amounts of stems like this. Now, having bounced these tracks down to individual parts, we've lost all that complexity of the big mixdown project and all the additional processing that's been added in there. And I personally find it gives me real kind of room to breathe, just having, in this case, 5 tracks to look at. But what it also means is that we can actually apply processing to these groups of instruments separate from the mixdown, so we can kind of think with a different hat on of how could we create even more interest within this track. So let me kind of show you some examples of what I mean. So let's say on the drums here, now because we've got all the drums bounced down, we can actually manipulate this as audio, which can give you a different kind of energy in terms of what you do or how you approach it. So let's say we created a bit of a gap here. We could try stretching this section out. So we had an extended, kind of slowed down section within the drums. So let's hear how that sounds. So you can hear that, that's quite an interesting little kind of edit that I wouldn't have been able to create. Well, I could have done it, but it would have been very laborious to create that with all the different drums. But having it bounce down means that we can be a little bit more kind of universal with the processing. Okay, so what else could we try? Well, something else we could do is, say, on the filtered loop, let's try Logic's remix effects. Now you can replace this with any kind of filter or glitch effect or bit crusher from your own DAW, but this will allow us to again create some kind of extra movement within that part. Now this is just a bounce down loop anyway, so this isn't an amalgamation of different parts, but often it will be. So I'll just play the track through, and maybe I'll just try some kind of tasteful filtering or bit crushing on the track, and maybe some of this gate effect here as well. So let's see what we can get out. I'll put it into latch mode. So you get the picture. So I've just added some in there. And also, of course, once we've added it in, we can go through and amend or copy and paste, move it to different places if we want to. So that's another thing we can try there. And also we can try kind of bus or stereo kind of 2-bus processing as well. I often like for this kind of music to put a flanger on there. So let's just see what this sounds like with the flanger on. Try and get a nice setting here. Always like that kind of whooshing aircraft kind of sound. So let's put this into latch mode, which will automatically make a track in Logic. And in fact, I'm going to take it off latch mode, and I'm actually just going to draw this in. So now what we could do is just create some little areas where we have a little bit of flanging coming in on the master, which I always find is just a really easy way of getting some kind of excitement into your arrangement for this kind of genre. It's kind of, you know, macro automation of the whole track. Okay, so let's take that down from there, down to 0 again. Okay, let's try the second breakdown. Okay, where do we come back in? So we'll go 137 to 145. And let's just add in another little section here. It's always nice to put a little bit of a curve on it, make it a bit more musical. Okay, so there's just one more thing I want to try here, which was to just bring out the breakdown a little bit with some reverb, just make it slightly more exciting. Now I'm going to put it on this bloomy setting. I just want kind of a big reverb. And let's roll off some of the lows here so we don't kind of overdo it in terms of the low frequencies. And then what I can do is just come across to the chroma reverb and let's increase the wet amount just towards the end, play it, and I'll decide where I'm going to do it. So we've got the wet up there. In fact, what we could do is maybe do it in 2 different places. So maybe we could do a little bit here. Let's see what that's like. Let's try another one here. So maybe go a little bit higher. And then finally, let's increase from here. Let's see what that's like. Nice, so again, just adding a little bit of kind of finessing to the arrangement and just creating some kind of added interest. So that's the advantage again of the stem master approach, is that on individual stems we can do little edits, work with the audio, chop things up, reverse things. In this case I stretched things. We did some remix effects on the filtered disco bus bounce here as well, and then added some stereo bus automation. Now obviously we can do that on a standard mastering as well, in terms of the stereo art, but having individual stems gives us access to be able to manipulate those stems individually. Okay, so now we've covered just a little bit of a kind of arrangement tool when it comes to stem mastering. In the next video, we're going to have a look at some options for channel strip emulations and tape saturation. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.